filled against.
Beau, give you a couple comments and take your questions.
Yeah, I thought guys handled it, Tuesday really well. Interesting, for us, obviously coming off a bye, but a bye unexpected. But the guys, they handled it well. Coach obviously put things in great perspective, and we understand it's, the things switching a schedule around is minimal compared to, the seriousness of everything. So, prayers and thoughts are with everyone in that regard, and just ultimately, I just respect how well the guys came back, because it's easy to all of a sudden get bored, whatever, you're preparing for a game and then get, all of a sudden you're going right into a bye week, and now you're practicing again without having played, and they rolled right into it and prepared really, really well today on Tuesday. So we're going to need that. It's got to carry over all the way through the week, and excited about what we'll do tomorrow.
Is that kind of how you guys have treated it, almost like last weekend was a bye?
Yeah, I mean, you did, but you didn't, because all week you didn't, so that's a little different. But then we went into the weekend, and obviously, Coach, we did treatment, and they did some stuff on Friday with Coach Beckton and the crew. But then, there was a bye feel to it in that, the guys who were playing, however many snaps in a game didn't, so there definitely was that from on your bodies and that sort of thing. But it did. It was different than anything I've experienced, because, it was just unexpected, obviously. And but like I said, the guys handled it well. It's not, as we all know, in the great scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. And, we get an opportunity to be back out here practicing, getting ready for a very good Colorado team that we know is going to be hungry for their 6th win.
Is there any different approach for you guys when you're facing a team that's going through a coaching change like they are right now?
No, not really. I mean, we just told our guys, one of the focuses we had, from a standpoint as a team, and I know when we spoke, offensive specific, is truly this is the type of week where you 100%. You always do, but you really have to focus in on what we're doing and us, because there's so many other things going on. There's a change of schedule, there was a change of schedule last week. There's a change of schedule this week because of Thanksgiving. There's no classes. There's, you're going to practice earlier on Thursday. And there's just so many things. Now on top of that, you're going to read or hear about, the coaching change and everything that's happening there. But all of that stuff truly is irrelevant once you get going. Saturday at 4:30, whatever that, that exact time is, it's irrelevant, and it really is. So you got to just lock into what you need to do, be exactly where your feet are every day on the practice field, and that's what our guys have done. It's one thing to say it, but they really do that, and it's just, I have a lot of respect for how they come out each day, and they showed it again today.
What have you seen from 53 on Colorado?
Very good player. He's just he's got good instincts, and he can do a little bit of everything. In terms of fitting in the run game, defending the pass, smart, tough. So he just does a lot of things really well. Just respect him and the instincts are stuff that when you think about linebackers, that's something that certain things you can't teach. You can go get great athletes, you can go recruit certain guys who can move, run, jump, but the instincts at the linebacker position, certain guys have that and certain guys don't. And he really shows a lot of great instincts with how he plays the game.
Colorado got off to such a great start this year. When you look at tape of them, do you see a big difference between their first 5 games and the last 6? Or?
No, not totally. Yeah. It's interesting because you're focused so much when we watch film on the cut-ups and all the looks versus this formation, all looks for this formation. So you don't see always. I mean, you watch flow of games, but you see so much of how they look on this specific play. Not did they win this game they're in. And so when you watch each specific play, when I watch them against opponents that they've just played or opponents they played, a month and a half ago, they're still they're a very good football team. They are, and I understand how that goes. I mean, people watch us and see a different team when we won 3 in a row compared to when we lost 3 in a row. I mean, we're still the same team. Just certain things didn't go your way, and certain things that go on in the course of a football game. But when they still look at it, they still see that, and I see the same thing with Colorado. I know that's extreme when you go 5 straight and then 6 straight, but at the end of the day, they're still a very good team that is playing to get into a bowl. And there's about half the country that can't say that going into this last weekend. So, and I know it's not, it's their last weekend, our second to last. So yeah, we're in for a tough challenge.
I've heard about Chase Forrest the past couple of days, and he's a guy who he could have gone anywhere because he wasn't playing. How much respect do you have for a guy like that, and what has he done this year?
I have as much respect for Chase as just about anyone I've ever coached. You know, I mean, just in terms of, for a lot of reasons, not just because he stayed though, but it's one thing to stay, but you could stay and just stay just to stay, you know, and then you just check that box. That's not what he's doing. I mean, he stays, and he's the same guy watching film like a starter. He's the same guy taking young guys. I've seen him with Garbers. I saw him numerous times with McElwain, watching film with those guys, you know, so he talks to people the right way. You know, so you can call him almost an extra coach at times. He's incredible on the sidelines, you know, just his demeanor and just how he sees things and yeah, I mean, the respect level, not just for staying, it's, you know, that's a grind in its own. Any senior who, no matter how much they played, any senior who gets to that 4th year, that 5th year, has gone through a lot of highs and lows, no matter what. You know, could be injuries, there's a lot of school along the way, a lot of things, a lot of distractions at different times. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets to this point. And so I respect every senior that gets to the point where they are right now, no matter how much you play. Now you take a guy like that who also has physical tools. That's the thing, you know, that's tough. It's not like he can play, you know, and so yeah, he's one of those guys you'll always remember, you know, for a lot of reasons, but not simply because he stayed, but because of who he is while he stayed. It's impressive.
The wide receiver group and injuries they've had, I'm sure you have a better idea than we do as far as their availability. But how much does their availability affect your ability to score points and your ability in your game planning?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain levels of that, just because, you know, sometimes it's a continuity thing at times, especially when you have, you know, a younger quarterback, and we've had younger quarterbacks playing this year in terms of both Garbers and McElwain. So then all of a sudden, when it's interchangeable who those receivers are, you maybe take a step back at times in timing and just getting used to things again. But it's all part of the process, you know. So I don't get too stressed about, you know, hey, if we would have been a little healthier, could we have, you know, scored a few more touchdowns in each game, or if we would have been a little bit healthier, could they have developed more continuity? Because you really is. It's out of your control. So everything we've done is just tried to focus on, okay, where are we this week? You know, when, you know, we're excited for some of these guys when they come back, like a Duncan now, excited for, you know, a guy like Duncan coming back, know how much he put into it, know how much he can help us. But while he wasn't healthy, okay, he's going to work to get healthy, but who's in there? Let's figure out the best, you know, possible way to find a way to win in this next ball game with the guys that are out there. So you got to be careful. Again, it can affect things, but you can't start, I guess, falling back on that either as a play caller, as an offense, as anything, because that's just kind of an easy out. You got to say, okay, this is the group that's healthy right now going into this week. What's going to give us the best chance to win? And it doesn't matter how we do that.
But you game plan based on what you have available.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. 100%. You game plan on, I mean, just not just what you have available, what even going into the year type of, you know, team you are. You know, where's your strengths, where's your weaknesses, so what's going to give you the best chance. So you're right. You definitely do that. You do that game plan wise, and you do that game plan wise, you start to get a feel of what type of team you are too, right? And you might be that team that has the ability, you know, do you have a great punter? Is your defense playing really good? So do you want to be, you know, a little, you know, take a little different approach in certain situations, because it's okay to win, you know, whatever that score might be, 17-14. Sure, I get it. We'd all love to win by, and I've been on those teams too, but I'll tell you what, winning 15-14 is a heck of a lot better than losing 42-41, you know. So it's just the nature of figuring out what gels together the best in terms of where we are as a team.
How much does the extra bye week help at the wide receiver position as far as?
It definitely helps. It definitely does. You know, just with, you know, Vic, you know, being where he was a week ago, and now he got some running in today. Duncan another week to get used to just catching the football again with his finger. So, you know, there's no question. Nico, a guy like Nico, even Jeremiah to that extent, they're still young within the system and within what we're doing. So it's another week of prep that allows for it. So I think it's not a bad thing in that way.
Catch any of Monday Night Football?
I kind of did, just because it was so crazy. You know, I saw my guy Samson.
Yeah.
You know, it was good to see that, you know, because, yeah. So, I mean, I kind of saw the highlights later, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, crazy game.
They must have run between the teams 150 snaps.
Yeah,
It was,
I'm sure.
It was wild.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
You don't long for that?
What's that?
You don't long for those for that to get the,
You know,
to
like
run
I
everything?
said, I mean, you just embrace whatever type of season you're in. I've been in those seasons. I've been in those years. I've been on those, you know, and you just got to try and match up your offense with your defense with your special team and what truly gives you the best chance to win. And there's not one way to do it. And you got to figure out, okay, this is kind of where we are. This is who we are. Let's figure out the best way to do that, you know. And again, at times it can feel, you know, some of the games that we've been in this year aren't the most friendly for a fan. Fans love offense. That's just a reality of it. But at the end of the day, they still, you know, are excited about the guys, how they compete, how they play, and you know, and if they're finding ways to win, and that's what I love about our group. Better late than never.
I hit two
I've been-
separate car accidents. My phone told me I was going to be here at 5:45. I
All
have
right.
a book to read.